Today we're breaking down a highly structured, absolutely incredible 3D blueprint designed to do one thing, and one thing only, completely change your life. And look, we aren't talking about some lifelong, decades-long pursuit here. We are literally talking about the next 6 months. Most people think a real transformation has to take years, right? But the source material we're looking at today argues that 6 months of focused effort, intense discipline, and just unwavering commitment is all it takes to look back and barely recognize yourself. You're essentially adding a whole new dimension to your potential. So we've mapped this out to guide you. Treat this explainer not as a casual background listen, but as the starting block for a massive, focused sprint.
So I have to ask you, where will you be 6 months from today? Seriously, deliver that to yourself right now as a jarring, cinematic wake-up call. Imagine if you decided today that for the absolute first time in your life, you were going to lock in completely. What happens if you eliminate every single distraction, every excuse, and every weakness that's been holding you back? How much sharper would you be? How much closer to the fully rendered three-dimensional life you actually want?
Section 1. The 6-month challenge.
Look, most people just kind of drift. They convince themselves they're stuck because of external forces, essentially handing over all their power to their past or their current environment. But winners operate on a completely different frequency. They understand that regardless of what happened yesterday, they are in total, absolute control of what happens next. They put zero energy into complaining about things they can't change and pour 100% of their focus into what they can actually control.
Someday is not a real day on the calendar. It's kind of the biggest lie we tell ourselves, isn't it? People love to say they'll get serious when the time is right, or when things settle down. But the people who really separate themselves from the crowd, they know that waiting for the perfect time is a massive trap. There is only now. Every moment you waste waiting for someday is a moment you will absolutely never get back.
Section 2. Master time and goals.
Taking responsibility is the foundation, sure, but just setting a vague goal isn't enough. You need an exact step-by-step roadmap. It's like building a 3D model. You need structure. Step 1, define a specific target. If you want financial success, what does that actually mean? Is it hitting a specific dollar amount? Starting a business? Step 2, break it down into daily actions. If your goal is getting in the best shape of your life, what does your training and nutrition plan demand from you on a daily basis? And step 3, protect your time ruthlessly. You've got to treat every single hour like it's your most valuable resource, because frankly, it is.
And here's the reality. There is no neutral. Every single action you take, every decision you make today is either moving you closer to your goal or pulling you further away. There is no "I'll do it later." There's no "just 5 more minutes." When you operate with absolute conviction, you quickly realize that standing still is really just moving backward in disguise.
You have far more time than you think. You're just not using it correctly. I know, it's a tough pill to swallow. Most folks are busy, for sure, but they are not productive. They trick themselves into thinking they're making progress when they're really just staying in motion without moving forward. We have to stop confusing mere movement with actual progress. When you finally track your days and cut out the meaningless distractions, your productivity will absolutely go through the roof.
Section 3. Build unshakable discipline.
Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's not about talent, it's definitely not luck. It is purely your ability to show up every single day whether you feel like it or not. Winners actually thrive in discomfort. They don't wake up and negotiate with themselves. They don't lay in bed asking, should I work out today? They just execute. They've already made a non-negotiable decision in advance.
Let's map out the psychology of this 6-month trajectory, because it reveals something crucial. Day 1 is all about taking control, but actually, I need to warn you right now about day 30. The first 30 days are going to be the hardest part of this entire sequence. Why? Because your old habits are going to fight back, hard. Your mind will resist. You'll hear every excuse in your head telling you to just quit. But if you can push through that initial resistance, by month 6, you will be entirely unrecognizable. Remember this absolutely crucial point. Motion creates emotion. Most people sit around waiting for motivation to strike before they do anything. They let their fleeting feelings dictate their actions. But you have to flip that completely upside down. You do not wait to feel good before you take action. You take action first, and the feeling follows. Action has to be automatic.
Section 4. Raise your standards.
I really want you to burn this phrase into your memory right now. What you tolerate becomes your reality.
If you tolerate excuses, you're going to live in a world of excuses. If you tolerate mediocrity or half effort, you will stay average forever. You have to demand excellence from yourself in literally everything you do.
So here's your actionable framework to shatter the old you and develop that elite mindset. 1. Do not settle for the bare minimum. 2. Push past your limits. If you used to stop at 10 reps in the gym, go to 12. If you usually work for 60 minutes, push it to 90. 3. Fix weak points immediately. If something isn't operating at the highest level, you don't wait around to fix it. You correct it right then and there. Growth only happens under pressure.
Because comfort is the enemy of progress. You have to purposely expose yourself to struggle. You have to chase discomfort, because that is literally the only way to build a mind that is stronger than fear. Put yourself in difficult situations daily. Do things that scare you. That friction, that resistance, is exactly what builds real, undeniable strength.
Which brings us to Section 5, execute without hesitation.
Most people overthink everything. They wait for more preparation, more information, the perfect moment, and eventually they look back and realize they just wasted years of their life. But winners know that speed matters. They don't just talk, they don't just dream, they execute immediately. Even if they aren't 100% prepared, they take action.
Action kills fear. Action builds confidence. When you operate with immense speed, you create this incredible momentum that makes success rapid and inevitable. When you make execution your default setting, you stop being a person who hesitates, and you become a machine that just dominates every single area of life.
Confidence does not come from thinking about being confident. It comes from doing. The more you step into the unknown right now, the more you prove to yourself that nothing can stop you. You'll never second-guess your potential again once you realize that action is the ultimate cure for doubt.
So here it is, the complete 3D blueprint drawn directly from our source material. Treat this as a non-negotiable 6-month contract with yourself. Take absolute responsibility. Get crystal clear on those goals. Master your time. Build unshakable discipline. Raise your standards so incredibly high that comfort becomes a memory. And execute relentlessly. 6 months of extreme focus can put you years ahead of where you'd be otherwise.
So, the only question left is, are you ready to execute like never before until your success is inevitable? Because the next 6 months are yours for the taking. The clock starts right now. Make the decision, take that first unrelenting step, and do not ever look back.